So yesterday, with the obviously March Madness coming to an end, they also announced the final round matchup for the most annoying person in sports media. Now, to me, this was a no-brainer from Jump Street, and no, I was not in the field of 64. I was not in there probably because when they announced it, I wasn't working at the time. But that's fine, and everyone's giving me a hard time. Yeah. In any event, it came down to Stephen A. Smith versus Jemele Hill.
Two black people. Interesting.
Now, Stephen A., I'm sure loves it. He wears it on his sleeve.
Yeah.
And because of his personality, he knows he's going to be there every year. Jemele Hill is annoying because she thinks who she is. And she became known, frankly, not for being a good broadcaster, not for hosting a highly rated show, not for being, a talented, opinionated woman in sports. She's annoying because she made her politics known to everybody. And she made these ridiculous demands of ESPN and of, frankly, the way sports are covered, based solely on the fact of what she thought about Donald Trump and, of course, her allegiance, or her alleged or apparent allegiance, to Colin Kaepernick during that whole story.
Yeah.
Jemele Hill brings absolutely nothing to the table in the form of talent as a broadcaster. She plays the race card more than any other person in sports broadcasting, maybe of all time.
An example of Jemele Hill playing the race card.
Well, it's specifically around the Colin Kaepernick and her comments about Donald Trump. And it seems like that became almost a broken record where, rather than just do a show and be lighthearted and have fun, and if something serious comes up, by all means tackle it. But when it becomes every single broadcast highlight that you see of her, it comes down to her opinions on politics, on race relations, on the president, and a number of other things along in that vein. No one wants to hear. People make the mistake all the time. Like when you listen to this show, you want to be entertained. You want to hear about sports. You want to hear some guy-oriented topics. And you want to ultimately buy into our experiences and how we view the same things you view. Is that a fair thing to say?
That's a fair thing to say. But a lot of her stuff was done on Twitter and not on ESPN and not the only place where she writes at. So her personal Twitter is what has gotten her in trouble. ESPN has different standards about that.
Right.
But she's a personality.
No, but the point is she's really not. I have a lot of respect for Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
I think he's really good at what he does. And he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's an entertainer. Mm-hmm. You don't have to like Stephen A. Smith. He goes in every day with the goal being, I'm going to entertain you today.
No doubt.
Right? And he's very good at it. He's frankly the face of ESPN. Mm-hmm. And here's a guy who had a second shot because they fired him the first time, brought him back, and he not reinvented himself, but he's become a very good broadcaster. Mm-hmm. And I know Stephen way back to 1993 when he and I both used to do a Sports Channel USA show together with a guy named G. Cobb in Philadelphia when he was just
Gary
Steve
Cobb.
Smith. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Who was my partner in Philly for 5 years. So I have a lot of respect for his career path and how he's gotten where he is. But if you become a broken record and it's about something as serious as race relations and everything that comes up black and white becomes something that bothers you, and there's, in my opinion, and I have not read everything she's written, to be fair, you at no point ever have anything good to say about how it's ever covered, and it's always a complaint. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear someone complain all day, every day about the same thing. I just don't.
I agree with you on that, but I think she's to the point now where she is beginning to start a transition out of the sports media. I think leaving a lot of the off-air stuff at ESPN, starting to write for the Undefeated, that's more of what she's known as, her journalism as a writer. And I think this is the start of her transitioning out of ESPN and maybe going into something that suits and fits her more. I think she's outgrown it.
Yeah, listen, I don't think she was any good at it either. She might be a terrific writer, and she might make a great living being an opinion, columnist and writing about race relations and politics and whatever it might be. But when I turn on a sports show, I want to be entertained and hear people talking about sports.
No doubt.
Or sports-related things like, what's your favorite strip club song?
Yeah.
Right?
Back that ass up.
Which I know the tournament ended yesterday. I think it's probably incumbent upon us to do a late Field of 64 for the greatest strip club songs of all time.
There's going to be a lot of trap music in there.
Chris told me you sent him a whole thing, and the music was terrible.
It's the music that everybody's listening to right now, right, Michelle?
It is.
What do you mean, right, Michelle?
Because she be at the bar, she know. You be in Jersey looking at the stars. You feel what I'm saying? You be in Jersey making love with the nighttime sky. Michelle is in the mix at the bar, which will remain nameless until they buy a commercial.
And the owner of that bar said to the guys playing music, "Stop playing all that R&B crap." Right? I want some Guns N' Roses. I want some U2. I want some Steve Winwood, for crying out loud. And if you'd please play some Joe Cocker, leave your hat on, because the girls love taking their clothes off to it.
All right.
Am I